If you're dealing with anxiety and depression, let me share with you a couple of learnings and simple ways of how you can support yourself during these challenging times. It will only take you for about 5 to 10 minutes a day and the consistency of 2 weeks to see some results. Hi, I'm Rose. I'm 59 years old, and I created this channel to help others in their journey to prevent a burnout, which I had 4 years ago, and to share different ways of how you can support yourself in challenging times. I'm a coach, yoga, and meditation teacher, and I've also had a career in American corporate environment for a couple of decades. First of all, let me say that you're not alone on this journey. Anxiety and depression are on the rise like never before. And the root causes for this are many, and the ways that you can support yourself in overcoming these challenging times also. And if you're willing to stand up for yourself, to get information, watch content like this one, let me tell you, you will get through this phase. In my life and in my work career, depression and anxiety actually hit me several times in my life. So, with the topic being a recurring one, I changed my perspective about it. It's something that can be used as a tool to actually move me and my life forward. So I would like to share with you these ways of really taking this different perspective so that you can also find a way to deal with it in your life and to make the best out of it. In my case, I can also say a crisis with anxiety and depression usually was the beginning of a huge shift and change in my life. And once I opened up to that idea, I would take the action and change my life for the better. And I'll speak more about that in just a minute. I want to encourage you to talk about your feelings to the people surrounding you that love you and that are interested in really being there for you. If you leave your feeling of being ashamed aside and stop blaming yourself that you've done something wrong, you can actually move things forward by acknowledging your feelings and really allowing these feelings to be there in the first place. My first recommendation is for you, when you end your day, to actually think of 3 things that really went well that specific day and to write these down. This little exercise will help you shift your focus on the good things, because in every day of your life, there will be good things. And when we're in a state of depression and anxiety, we lose the focus. We stop seeing those things. And so the first thing you can do to really help yourself is start seeing those things again. Seeing what really went well, and also how did you contribute to making that happen. A good time to do this would be at night, and then being consistent about it. Do this for at least 2 weeks. And you will start seeing some results. You will start shifting your focus on seeing the positive things in life a bit more again. If you are facing fear and anxiety, make it a new exercise to not push these feelings away. Fear and anxiety are often part of our inner warnings that can show us what we would actually need to take a closer look and maybe make adjustments. In any case, don't try to suppress these feelings, because if you try that, you will make them worse. Rather focus on them and try to find out what the warning is really about. It could be that I'm really afraid of that meeting coming up because XYZ could happen. And yes, things can go wrong, but it can also work out for you. It's the same opportunity. So in using that example, we could reframe this as an opportunity to actually look, how could I support myself for this upcoming meeting? What could I do to prepare in order to make this go well for me? And then I could also reframe my own feeling. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm scared or I'm really nervous, I could think something like, I'm really excited. I'm excited because the outcome of this meeting is really important to me. And then, of course, your inner feeling will still feel the same, but your thinking is starting to shift around that. You're no longer the victim of the outcome, but you're actually someone that will try and influence the outcome. So focus on what you can contribute to make it go well for you. And do that. Prepare. And after that, let it go. Give it up. Don't cling to a specific outcome in your head. Give it to God or the universe or whatever you believe is the highest force in your life and let it go. The rest is not in your hands. Give up the feeling of needing to control it and expecting a very specific outcome. So now you've prepared and you refocus on trusting life and trusting that things will go well. And if they don't, then you can trust yourself. You will be able to handle whatever the outcome is. Not everything is in our hands, and we need to learn to trust life in these situations. We need to learn to trust that life will happen in our favor. Life is happening for us. When I say that, it doesn't mean that it's going to deliver the very specific outcome that we would like to see. It doesn't work like that. But looking back at the many crises I had in my life, I can say for sure that every crisis was the beginning of a new phase in my life, and things would then change for the much better once I was through the crisis. And if that sounds like a very big thing for you and very hard to do, please, I understand totally. And I was there. I totally understand what that feels like. I have been there many times, and I can only encourage you to look at it like an athlete that is training to run his marathon, for example. You're running and training to run this marathon of life, and trusting that life will turn out in the best in the end, not during the crisis, but in the end. If we let go, clinging to a specific outcome is something that is really so much worth learning. And in my toughest times, I can tell you, I run my daily mantras through me almost on a 10-minute kind of basis. I can handle this. It will all work out for the best of everyone involved. I trust life. I trust myself. I'm not alone, and I can get professional help or any help that I want at any time. And even if I cannot see how it will play out in the end, I trust it to being in the best manner for everybody involved. So let me summarize for you what I've shared up to here. You're not alone. You haven't done anything wrong. Start acknowledging the feelings that you're having and start talking about them to people that you trust or even seek professional help. Don't suffer silently and don't blame yourself and don't be ashamed of anything. Start reshifting your focus on the good things in your everyday life. There are always good things, no matter how small. Acknowledge your own contribution to that and start seeing it again. If fear and anxiety really kick in, then reframe that. And then decide to do the things you can do to influence the outcome in a good way and let go of the rest. It's not in your hands. And start practicing that you trust life. Trust life. And please let go of trying to control the outcome and being fixed on a specific outcome. Trust yourself. You're stronger than you think. See it as a training, your specific life training, like an athlete. Having phases like this is human. We can get help and we can support ourselves. In my life, phases like this one often popped up when I was actually supposed to make a change. Big changes eventually, small changes. It could impact my work or my relationships. And very often, because, of course, of fear of making these changes, I would suppress these emotions that were coming up because I didn't want things as they were appearing or as they were popping up. I wanted a different outcome. So resisting what is actually going on in your life can also really create these feelings of anxiety, fear, and depression. I've understood at this stage of my life that when these feelings pop up, I need to take a closer look of where I'm actually resisting and what are the changes I actually need to make. And these could be changes inside of me, so healing I need to take care of, or even outside changes, like I said, in work or relationships. Fear of change is totally human as well, and it can be overwhelming at the same time. You can work with it in the very same way, trying to reframe it. So asking yourself really, what is this fear trying to warn me of? How can I prepare the outcome? Because yes, it can go well for me. And trust life. It's happening for us. I know it doesn't feel like that very often, but every crisis has an end. I can get through this. It'll make me stronger. It's a life skill, actually, that I'm training to handle a crisis in my life in a much better way. And accepting what is going on, my emotions and everything around it, and taking responsibility of how I can support myself, it actually helps me move through it much faster. Let me say that I truly feel with you. If you've been watching this video until this point, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about and are looking for ways of how you can support yourself. My heart is with you, really. If you have any additional questions, please put them in the comments. Thanks for spending your time with me and for watching, and wishing you all the very best. See you next time.